Welcome. Go ahead.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Vid-Bits. I'm Braden.
And I'm Brian.
And today we're going to be playing some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade. So I'm going to be playing as Michelangelo.
And I'm going to be playing as my favorite guy, Donatello.
I remember so many times going up to the machine playing Turtles arcade and just like blasting our way through it, just completely killing it. But then once you get towards the end, it gets pretty difficult.
Yeah, I like playing with 4 players, and I feel like anytime that you see people in arcade, they always seem to be crowded around this. Usually, if there's 2, it'll fill up because you can just walk up and come in at any time, and it's just great. Pick up and play gameplay. Pretty much is an established thing for, basically an established thing for Konami to have.
This is not. Oh, there we go.
Have the same beat 'em up formula that they apply to a lot of different IPs, and it just works great with the Turtles formula.
So why is Donatello your favorite turtle?
Honestly, I just thought, his weapon to me was like the most non-lethal and also most easily maybe found in a common area. I also thought that when I was playing the games, he had the best reach with his weapon, which meant that I wasn't going to be smacked around in the face as much because you could just hit him with that long stick weapon. And then they kind of made him seem like he was like the smart one of the group in the cartoon. So I didn't think that people were picking him as much as they were picking like a Raph or a Mikey. Like it was pretty much the 3rd and 4th place was split between Leonardo and Donatello.
I just think Leonardo is the basic pick. I don't know. I feel like that's the go-to pick. They're like it makes the show almost makes you want to like Leonardo. It's like that's why everyone picks everyone else aside from him.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with being like, oh, I like saying I'm the leader, So it's more associated with Leonardo's.
But he's not leader. It's not officially like. I feel like maybe between different formats they maybe reference him as the leader, but like most of the time I don't feel like it was too obvious that he was the leader.
I know.
At least not through his actions, especially in the movie.
It's the theme song,
Oh, is it in the theme song?
Yeah, Leonardo leads.
Oh, it's just because it rhymes.
Right. It's also the alliteration. Leonardo leads, Donatello does. Like,
right.
Okay.
That's why. Okay. Like I was in Donatello's is honestly lame.
Yeah.
Does machines?
I guess he.
What does that even mean?
That's a fact, Jack. I don't know.
He does machines, guys. That's up for interpretation.
All right, good old Shredhead taking April away. It's pretty great that you can jump from like the second story with the person underneath your arm, and none of you get messed up.
Even though Shredder's a human still, he's probably like genetically mutated, but like, what is the official consensus on that? Like, I know in Secret of the Ooze he becomes like genetically mutated.
He's just a normal person through the first one. Oroku Saki, he's just a normal, a normal guy with just really good ninja skills, but. Then after Secret of the Ooze, if anything can, I guess you'd assume he was mutated when he comes out.
And dies? At least in the movies.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he dies in the movies, but, there's...
Because they don't even reference him in the third one. The third one is just horrible. Like, and obviously we are referencing the original trilogy of movies.
Yeah. I mean, no offense to anybody that likes any of the other IPs, and I'm actually looking forward to this new one that is directed by Seth Rogen and all that coming out later this year.
It's directed by him?
Yes, he's the one that's producing, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So, and I believe he had everything. He's also weirdly involved with trying to, like, resurrect IPs from my childhood. Like, I've also heard he's attached to some rumored Darkwing Duck reboot, too.
Huh.
So...
I didn't know that was his steez.
I think that he enjoys trying to get those feels for people around that were born in the 80s and stuff and want to have like those IPs properly rebooted or give consensus like that it's like closer to what people want instead of just slapping a new coat of paint on it and just trying to rehash that. they try to actually put care into it, so people that watched it initially will like it instead of just be like, okay, it's just crap. Ah! I shouldn't have done that.
Why'd you attack her?
Because I wanted to see if she'd duck, and she did. So I didn't attack her. She ducked.
I guess that sometimes is what it is. Like when you're in games and you just attack people who you know are innocent or they're like your friends, just to see if they like how they react or if like the game punishes you for attacking them.
It's MGF.
That's funny.
That's some impressive graphics for an arcade, though. Those portrait graphics.
That was dumb of me. So, like, what was the deal with this on the 360?
It was only available for a short licensing period. They, you know, when you bought it, you were able to re-get it, but they didn't want to re-up the license. Like, kind of like Simpsons Arcade was available on PlayStation, and as well, the same type of situation where they had it for a while, and if you got it, you own digital rights to it, but then they just would stop. They stopped selling it, so only people that, you know, had put it in their digital libraries were able to re-download it.
Oh, come on.
I guess every time you hit start, you get another credit, but the cool thing is, really, the main score of this game is how many enemies you defeat, and we're pretty even. 53 and 51. Oh, man. Bebop here.
God, he is beating us up. God.
Who put the lights out?
How many times do you fight Bebop?
I think that in the arcade game, you fight them both individually, and then they team up later, and you fight them both at the same time.
I feel like you use so many lives here. Like, how does someone get good at not getting attacked, like bait into attacks and then like run out, like back out?
The main one is this jump attack that we're not doing,
The jump kick.
where you jump and then you,
I keep falling in that hole. Why am I doing that?
oh man.
He's almost down. I mean, surely, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should have stayed on both sides.
There
of
we
them.
go.
Keep out. Obligatory sewer level.
Yeah, that's a staple in Ninja Turtles. You gotta have a sewer level.
The music's really good.
You gotta have a Manhattan level too, or is all of this in Manhattan?
I think it is all self-contained within Manhattan until like you go. I don't know. Oh wow! Look at the little mice. I kind of don't ever really pay attention to that.
Because they kind of blend into the background a bit. So if you're not paying attention, I could see just you completely missing that.
Well, I'll be quite honest. When I'm playing with random people, I probably am more making sure that if we started at the same time, that I'm trying to pull my weight, like making sure that our numbers are even. Because like you just don't. At the end of the day,
I do not ever pay attention to that.
well, I just want to make sure I'm not the guy that's not doing anything when you're playing with four-play people.
I bet I've been that guy before.
You were also younger, so you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that.
Makes sense. Come on. I hate these guys. What are they called?
Mausers.
Not my... did you need that pizza?
No, it's all good. We have infinite, guys. We're just trying to play through and have a casual little beat down the shredder coming up here. It's the same as if you were in the arcade. If you had enough money, you would be able to beat the game, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Anybody could beat any arcade game back in the day.
And you paid money to buy the copy of the game, so you're pretty much just paying for like an infinite kind of package.
Absolutely. They want you to be able to enjoy it, too.
Well, yeah, because
This
it's
is-
an arcade game. But then again, like some digital versions of arcade games don't let you do that.
They just figured back in the arcade, in a game like this that's a beat-em-up game, if it's going to last anywhere from 25 to 50 minutes, they don't care if you beat it if you're willing to spend $35 to do it. That's about half as much as it would cost for you to go buy a console game, and you're willing to do it to beat it one time, so they don't care.
That's a lot, man.
That is a lot of money. And
It makes it an attraction for sure.
Sure.
I could definitely see the justification.
Well, and you know, when you go to the arcade back in the day, you'd probably typically get between $10 and $20 most in quarters, and you weren't willing to spend $10 to get into a game that you knew you weren't going to be able to beat all the way. So there was just no sense in it. So it got to the point then where you'd only play it once or twice, get it through the first level or so. It was more satisfying maybe to pay $1.50.
Just to experience it.
$1.50, right, to experience the first level, and then be like, okay, instead of spending the whole, getting what we call pot committed, because then at that point you're like, well, I'd rather see a little bit more of this game.
I've already paid this much money. I might as well keep paying them money.
Right, absolutely.
But then again, like, there's so many things that do that now with video games, with, like, battle passes. It's like, well, I might as well invest this much time or buy some levels on the battle pass so I can get that thing.
Yeah.
At least there was better incentives back in the day. You just
bragging
wanted to
rights.
experience the game.
It was bragging rights, and there was no coverage of it. So, and then your bragging rights was to be able to say, "Yeah, I got to this level, and this is what you would see." And then if somebody finally got to be able to see it themselves, they knew you weren't telling a lie. Like, that's crazy how it was.
Yeah, you'd actually be able to confirm it for yourself.
Right,
I just got hit by a car.
I like all the different variations of the Foot Clan.
That's the coolest thing in any beat 'em up arcade is like seeing the variations of enemies. But in this particularly, or I feel like this is always paired really with Simpsons Arcade in my mind. I don't know why. Like when I think of Turtles, I immediately also think of Simpsons Arcade.
Yeah, because Konami, like I was saying earlier, they have like a similar engine, but also they just pay good attraction to their IPs when they're trying to put them in this format. It just, the character sprites are bright, and like they try to be as close to the source material.
Yeah.
The only reason why the Simpsons Arcade has different weird things to other people is they may not remember the show's earliest years, and that game came out pretty much when the show first came out. So like, it's got a lot of older tropes.
I'm getting my butt whooped over here in the corner. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've gotten hit over and over again.
Bebop and Rocksteady are no joke, but together, but individually they're not too bad. They seem to be doing a good job with the crisscross pattern. We could just take one of them out.
It'll make it all easier.
Oh man. Shell shot. That was weird. He was trying to do something. He just ran in the corner and just stayed stuck there.
Get him.
Alright, come on. Yeah, I jumped right into that. Good job.
Yeah, got the final blow.
I think you'll get the kiss then.
No, the turtle wagon.
The turtle wagon. Oh, I got it.
I'm just looking all sexy in the background.
That was cool. Got like a health replenish there.
Oh, nice. In between stages.
That'd be very well received if you like I said, you're paying quarters, so like to get your whole life back. There's a lot going on when there's 4 people on the screen, but it's great because like they scale the enemies so everybody feels like they have something to do. Most of the time the enemies are scaled to the point where there will always be, one on the screen for everybody to be fighting at the same time.
But sometimes you'll have those people who are overachievers and are able to take out all of the enemies. And
yeah, they'll go try to get the person that you're trying to fight.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's even a problem with 2 people. Maybe with 4 people, it's like they only can scale it in so much, so there's not like flashing. So maybe there's not as many enemies per person with 4 people.
Right.
Like they may still scale it up, but maybe not 1-to-1.
Right.
Those are all blanket assumptions.
Absolutely. I get it. Yeah, just walk around with a bomb. Just walk it around.
Yeah, that's not practical at all. And it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna splat one of the turtles with a bomb?
And then, honestly, it's a pretty heavy thing, right? So how far are you gonna throw it where it's not gonna kill you with the blast radius? If it were being around here. Blah, 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 blah.
What is your favorite game for Game of Day May so far? I know you're very partial to Marble Madness.
Yeah, that didn't really go too well. Like, I'd love to do some, like, I'll do, once Game of Day May's done, I feel like I'm going to do some redemption, just some streams and some stuff just to perform better and not have the limitation of having to beat it, but just try to perform better, because I usually do way better with that. Jaws, surprisingly, I feel like having a run that was, like, bad and then having a run that was really good afterwards seemed to be well, and it's actually the best performing with the shortest amount of time, which is pretty surprising to me. That game also is just like lauded as not being very good, which I think that it did. I don't know. I just felt very. I was more entertained playing that game that time than I normally am, which was surprising. I guess I could say that.
I just completely jumped into that spiked barricade like a chump.
And then Rescue Rangers. Make sure you give yourself some credits.
Oh.
Rescue Rangers was okay, but it didn't perform very well. But I didn't really think the playthrough was very good.
I'm very partial to the ones I've done, so DuckTales was not bad for me. I definitely had to warm up, and I was a little bit sloppy.
Oh, I did hit it with a power
But
shot.
DuckTales is one of those games that you really just have to do it, and you have to spend like a day or two getting back, up to snuff per se.
Yeah.
Where you're just practicing each segment and getting better at each segment and optimizing, your time. You may not change up the strategy much. It's really just getting the muscle memory built again.
Right.
Or like I feel like it's just getting re-familiarized. It doesn't take that long, considering like once you've done it the first time, once you've learned the route. How many months ago was that when we first learned the route?
It was last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
That is bananas. That is crazy.
I'm out of practice by 5 months at this point, so I'm glad that you're the one that actually did that, because I would have felt like it was nowhere near what I'm capable of.
Oh, well, it was still not that great. If I would have beat it on the first run, which I actually did really good my first run, surprisingly, but then I was sloppy at the end fights, which that's the main thing you need to practice with that game is the end fights. They're just so difficult. I don't know, it's mainly Magica and the Dracula Duck.
Yeah.
Those are the hardest fights in the game, truly, like.
I think it's just like we were playing it, and when I was going for records and stuff and to get the best runs possible, I was playing it probably on average of 5 hours a day.
Yeah,
So,
I was definitely playing at least 3 to 4 hours a day. But I also spent less time than you.
But now I'm just like, okay, there's so many other games, and I got a good record that's sitting still.
Oh yeah, nothing's changed. Did I tell you that?
No.
When I did that, nothing had really changed at all. Maybe in the lower levels, like in the 20s or 40s, but like in the top 10, that first page, nothing has shifted.
Nice. Alright, so that was pretty sweet.
They're taking Splinter away.
Is there like some Easter eggs there? It looks like you see some names there on the bottom of those bases of this boxes.
I'm not looking at any of those things you're saying.
Right here, up here where the Mauser is.
I don't
behind
think I can. Oh,
what does it say?
I think it's a brand or
Yeah.
like a name or something. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I would definitely try to sneak that stuff in though.
If I was a developer, I would do stupid things like have a textured wall that would just say something. But maybe you would just not notice it until you like were looking at it for so long. So maybe like you'd have a corridor with the same repeating texture, but it said something. So like the more you keep noticing that texture, you're like that says something. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I used to when I was younger, I used to totally think I was capable of doing that, but at the same time, I feel like I could maybe contribute ideas towards a game, but I could never. I'm just not capable of doing the coding myself. That's not my thing. But
Yeah.
I just admire and respect and appreciate video games and the people who make them. So it's like, it's just all the more power to people who are capable of that.
Right.
I feel like being a young kid enjoying video games, you always want to make them. That's one of those like, it's almost one of those astronaut or like those firefighter, those careers that you really strive to have it when you're a kid, but it's like it's not realistic and a lot of people want it.
It's depending on what level you think that you can do. Like some people that can't do can inspire, and sometimes even if you can't be the person that codes, you can maybe give the ideas to the people that can make it happen. There's sometimes people that are able to achieve like the technical aspect of it, but
they don't have the creative behind it.
Right. Completely blocked by it.
But then again, there's also those indie developers that are just so multifaceted and they're completely capable of doing all of it themselves. Why can't you pick up those pizzas?
Give me a pizza.
I guess we're gonna save them.
Good turtle.
I can't get my pizza.
That is so peculiar.
I don't understand.
You died, even though you totally could have picked up the pizza.
Okay.
That is just odd.
Anyway.
Oh, I got a pizza. Maybe you can get one now if you need it. Why would that not let you have the pizza initially?
That's weird.
I'm getting creamed out here.
He's just destroying us.
Oh my gosh!
You can see the ramp too. Like you're remember, every time that you lose 2 guys, that's a quarter. So
we should have kept track of how much money we spent.
that's all right. It would have been bad.
You know what would be a cool stream idea?
But
Like for people's donations, that's how many continues you get, or like how many quarters you get. So say someone gives $1, that's 4 plays. That would be a neat like thing. Like so, if people want to make it hard, or if it's a really hard game, they'll try to donate.
we're
more.
even on both sides of this guy, and
He's
still
just destroying us. Like
oh,
you know, it'll make it so like people feel like there are points where they want to donate or like they don't want to. I don't know. We're so new to the streaming thing. Like some people have very cool streaming goals where it's like, you know, if whoever donates gets their name set out on
that's
the stream.
it. Boom.
I don't even know if we have that set up. But then again,
Thank you.
You're welcome, Master Splinter.
There it is.
the Technodrome.
All right, that's awesome. It's just epic. Like when you were playing this in the arcade, you know, and you get to hang out there for a while. Like playing this just felt epic. It felt like you were going through an adventure and seeing stuff, and like you can see all the different variances from just fighting groups of just ads to a little bit of parkour around some devices that are doing some bad damage, and the myriad of bosses and the different styles that they have and how much damage they do. It's definitely an adventure.
Are these dead? Why are they still staying?
Because they just stay there, they don't blow up.
Okay. I was confused for a second there.
Yeah. All these purple foot soldiers.
I was attacking you for a second. I was like,
It's alright, sometimes you have to be in the same line so you don't get attacked either. You know,
yeah. I find myself looking at other people in, you know, single screen arcade games. Or not single screen, but like... Is it single screen? Like, or I guess it's not like,
Same screen, co-op game.
yeah, that's fair. Multiplayer co-op.
I mean, I would just feel bad if people didn't understand color blindness, but then even if you were colorblind, you could just go by the weapon you have, but still, I get it.
But I also feel like, are they conflicting colors for colorblind people?
I'm not sure what those color combinations actually are.
Yeah, that's... I remember in some games I would just use the colorblind options because it would make like certain indicators easier to see against like different backgrounds. Like, say someone's like name, like their indicator for an enemy was like dark red. I would change it to like the mode that would make that pink, so it'd be easier to see against like certain colored backgrounds. Or make it easier to see on the mini map. I feel like a lot of people did that, at least when I was playing FPSs and stuff. It's not exactly my thing anymore. I mean, I like FPS games that are like single player games, so like those aren't really
Another
mine.
one of these horrible guys from Dimension X that just have lots
What
of
even
them.
is this? Is this from Turtles? Or
Yeah.
is this some generic?
It's from Dimension X. It's Dimension X soldiers from the cartoon.
See, you're so knowledgeable about a lot of parts of TMNT that I'm not necessarily as familiar with.
But it's only like the initial cartoon run and the first 3 movies that I know the most about. Anything that's happened after like that, I don't know anything.
Yeah, I honestly just prefer the original 3 movies, even though the 3rd one sucks. But like, I don't know.
It's almost fun just to poke fun of it.
Who was it that redid the first movies?
Was it Michael Bay that did the first?
Michael, I think that's what you said when we were talking about it last.
I don't even know.
I don't know. That's just not my. I just thought I didn't like the CGI look of the turtles. They were too big. That was my main thing. They were huge.
Oh God, he's just black and big as the wall.
He's so close. I
That's
got
it.
it.
Ah, another pile of crap. And I'm like, what up?
What up, yo? We just blew that robot up. Was it a
Yeah.
robot?
Yeah, it's like a stone monster. Yeah. Oh, here's the robot. Android body with
Krang.
the brain inside of his guts.
Oh, that's a hypnotizing background. The pink and the white and the purple and the red.
Yeah, I might as well just hit start a bunch and just blow up about 20 credits, but it's the only way we take. That way you'll know at least how many it took for the last fight here. Because we're at the next last fight. Bam ba ba da ba bum.
I feel like sometimes I get kind of sloppy on arcade titles where I'm just dying over and over.
It's a button masher.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of it is, and they just realized back in the day that they would get more money out of you if you died quick.
Right, and it's up to the individual arcade operator. I'm using the same strategy I use when I play like Double Dragon, where you get on top of the pixel and then like he's having a hard time determining where you're at.
Oh, maybe up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's smart because you still get the hit indicator on him.
Yeah, and he's just like, and it doesn't make him move too much. But yeah, like, it's not a big deal. It's just a button masher. I think they do that for accessibility, but unfortunately, it's tethered by 2 things: how much money you have, and how generous the arcade operator is with the difficulty dip switches on the arcade machine itself. I'm sure there's an easier setting than what we're playing on that would make it so we took so much less damage per hit. And they just don't, you know what I mean? It's based on that. They do that per area. If the kids are really bad at the video game, then they make the default difficulty easy just so that the kids will still play it. If they're too good at it and they don't have to spend too much money, then they might make it more difficult so that they don't have as many long innings when they play. Like when you played Dragon's Lair the other day, like if you play on an actual arcade machine with the difficulty on the arcade machine...
I've seen it varied because I went to the same place twice where they had a machine, and it just kind of varied. They had it on the hard difficulty with no directions, and then they had it on the easier difficulty with directions. So I literally think it was because of how many people were there to deter someone from just sitting there and hogging the machine the whole time.
Right.
Which is kind of lame, in a way. You know?
Was it actually you put money in it machine?
No. I don't think anyone really operates those. Maybe there are some token ran arcades still.
Was it modified to receive like a card that gives
No,
you
there
a
was
value?
no credit involved. It was just a pay and then you played for so long kind of deal. It was fun. I got so far. I probably like 12 screens or so. It's just harder. The range of motion on a joystick is a lot more. Like you have to put a lot more into it for each motion. Versus I'm spoiled on a controller for Dragon's Lair, being able to like just hit a D-pad. That's so nice, so convenient.
So just for reference, 2 guys a credit. I put in 10 credits for this last 2 fights, and I've used 10 of the guys so far. So if the credits were, say, a quarter a piece, then it was $2.50 just for this last fight. But if I remember correctly, Turtles was a premium game, and I think it was 50 cents a credit. So it'd be more like 50 cents times 10 credits is $5 for just these last two bosses. If I don't have to put any more in.
I have not.
And I think that's it.
I have not paid any attention to that. When I ran out, I just put more in.
It's all good. It still shows that the game would cost like 15 to 20 bucks to beat on whatever this default difficulty is, but we did do it. We took care of it, and here's the great epilogue that you get as your reward.
Good job, guys.
Yeah,
Killed it.
I gotta love the see. There's alliteration there too. Freaked the foot, mangled the Mausers, totaled the Technodrome.
That's turtle power. But what about the shredder and the Krang? Burned to toast, vaporized to milkshake?
Or escaped to Dimension X, and so we know none of us can sleep safely in our beds. Shells. So yeah, we rocked this out, and we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Game of Day May. I think we're going to take on what some people may consider the far superior of the pair of arcade games. Turtles in Time tomorrow for episode 22, but this is the end of week 3 of Game of Day May, and we appreciate you guys. It was cool that we were able to do a co-op one today. I was really enjoying that. What about you, Bray?
Yeah, I love Turtles, so I'm glad that we were able to take it on together, both picking our favorite turtle. I'm also glad we don't have the same favorite turtle. That would
Right.
suck.
Yeah.
Like, because it would be like you'd be fighting about picking a turtle, and like, I'm glad that we have different favorites.
It was also cool back in the day with getting the original figures. I never had to fight people for Donnie. There was always people that were going for the leader, or they were going for the cool one, or going for the rude one. So I always had my favorite on the shelf still, which was great for me. And maybe I may secretly think I had more of a choice about it, but it may be one of those situations where I was just happy to see him on the shelf, and I just affixed myself to him. Either way, we appreciate you guys, and stick around for another episode of Game of Day May tomorrow. We're going to hit it up again with some Turtles in Time. And
we can put our...
Heck yeah. Hit it up with some Turtles in Time, and we're going to see you on the next one. As always, we appreciate you guys checking out everything that we do here at the Vid-Bits. And until next time...
I appreciate it. I'm Braden.
And I'm Brian.
Peace. And peace.